Good evening and a very warm welcome to you wherever you may be joining us for this exciting episode of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. My name is Tonci Prusak and I'm going to be with you for the next 60 minutes or so. And joining me as he does every week in the studio here, the Geelong Region Soccer Show studio, Steve Curtin. Very warm welcome to you, Steve. How are you?
Very well, thanks, Tonci. Good to be here in the Geelong Region Soccer Show studios again on a Monday night, and we've got something to talk about, which is good because the juniors football took place over the last couple of days, and we're going to talk all about that tonight. And how are you, mate?
Good, mate. It's a Monday night, start of another week. Hopefully, this week delivers us good news as far as the world that's surrounding us. But geez, it was good to have the juniors at least back on the track on the weekend. Speaking of the juniors, tonight's show is all about our wonderful juniors. Unfortunately, there's some good stuff and there's some bad stuff, and there continues to be some good news filtering with regards to our sport. But it's all about the juniors, Steve, tonight. So I'm looking forward to it. Something that we don't really get an opportunity to cover much in the greater scheme of things. But definitely something. They say, the world rests on the shoulders of the youth of today. And we've got some fantastic young footballers around the region. And, as I guess luck would have it, it's a chance to cover the local juniors as well, the ones that sometimes don't get that little bit of glory and, sometimes play second fiddle to everyone else, even their NPL counterparts. But it should be an exciting show, mate. How was your start to the week?
Oh, a little bit too busy, actually, mate. I would have liked to have had a Monday off, but just sort of crammed in as much as we could today, and that keeps on going, of course, with our 7 p.m. time frame here. So, but we can assure you that we've got a good hour's content, but no more tonight. So, strap yourselves in for the next, as you said, 57 minutes, and we'll entertain you as best we can.
Yeah, short, sharp, and terrific tonight. That's the moral of the story, or that's the aim tonight. So we're going to be straight away launching into the news. And geez, there's a lot of news happening around the traps. Don't go away. You're tuning into episode 64 of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. Okay, right. Steve, what have we got in the world of news?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. It is Monday, the 7th of June, 2021, and hot off the press, we have heard from the channels of Councillor of the City of Greater Geelong, Kylie Grisbeck, and her fellow councillor, Eddie Contal, have just informed us that they've met with Football Victoria's CEO, Kimon Taliadoris, along with George Angelopoulos and Foddy Cyprian, about a push for a Geelong Regional Soccer Stadium. So that has just taken place only a short time ago, we believe. And there you go. Evidence there with the Zoom meeting is in that screenshot there. So things are happening in the space of probably the most exciting conversation topic in Geelong football for me, Tonci.
Well, just what was it, 2 weeks ago, Steve? That's when we had the Eddie Contal as our guest on the show, and he spoke about the importance of a regional stadium. Also talked about the fact that they've got $50,000 in the council budget to formulate a business plan. So it's great to see. It's great to see that the direction is things are moving in the right direction. So. Yep, stay tuned for that. No doubt there'll be more details to come to hand regarding that. Steve.
All right, next item tonight is the unfortunate announcement that the Junior Country Championships that were set to be held this coming weekend, the Queen's birthday weekend, have now been postponed. Still to be held in Geelong, but they will be played over the weekend from the 1st to the 3rd of October. So that will be I believe that's the last Friday of the school holidays, being the 1st through till the Sunday, the 3rd there. So, yep, everyone was ready to go, but we'll have to wait a few more months, and hopefully it will be a good tournament. And look, maybe on the plus side, the pitches might be, I don't know, in better condition that time of year. Who knows?
Certainly the weather will be, that's for sure. And that is the week after the grand final weekend, the grand final long weekend. Yep. Now, we're hoping to get the vice president of the Country Leagues Football Association, Neville Keen, a little later on in the show. As we understand, there is a meeting currently happening as we speak, where members of the Geelong organising committee are meeting together now to decide their next course of action as far as the organising of that is concerned. We tried to get a hold of both Pete Bradley from Go FC Coaching and Lisa Brooks, who is the tournament director, and they were both unable to attend or unable to appear on our show tonight, namely because of that meeting. Like I said, we're hoping to get Neville Keen a little later on in the second half of the show. So stay tuned for that, if his commitment does allow it. But as a result, Steve, of the country championships being rescheduled, I guess, it's opened up a window for the lockdown round to be rescheduled. Tell us a bit more.
Yeah, that's right. Fortunately, the juniors in the regional areas have only lost one match week. So what that enables us to do with the country championships not taking place this weekend is to play these matches over the coming weekend. So as you can see on the screen there, following the postponement of the country championships, they missed round 7 fixtures for juniors and mini roos in our region here. They will be played this coming weekend, June 11th to 13th. At this stage, seniors and over 18s training only, pending direction from state government. Once there is an update on it, that will be confirmed. So stay tuned, watch the space for that one. But good to see the juniors, they'll get to have a run out this weekend.
Yeah, so that's week 7, or in basically round 7 for most of the games, except for the under-12 competition, which was only recently split up into a Kangas and a Wallabies sub-competition, if you like. That will resort to round 1 fixtures. Okay, so that will be on next week. Now, mate, speaking of next weekend, all eyes will be on the on Optus Sport, I suppose. Those who've got Optus Sport, because probably, what is it? Arguably the second biggest sporting event after the World Cup. I think it even surpasses the Olympics. It certainly will this year. And that's going to kick off next weekend. Of course, we're talking about the Euro Championships.
That's right. Euro 2020 is kicking off, and don't be fooled by the graphic there. It is Euro 2020 being held in Euro 2021 after it was postponed last year, and that'll be kicking off with the first match is at 5 a.m. this Saturday morning with the Group A teams, Italy and Turkey, playing the opening match, and look forward to setting the alarm for that one. There it is on your screen there. Yeah. Italy, Turkey, the opening match. That one taking place Saturday morning. Then Saturday night, it's Wales and Switzerland. A few other interesting clashes there, but the mouth-watering one there that you're looking forward to watching, Tonci, I fancy, is that one on Sunday night at 11 o'clock, England and Croatia. Yeah, a rematch from the World Cup tournament. What a game that was as well. What a game that was. 3 years ago now. Doesn't feel like it. It's a lot of revenge there with it. Yeah, it does. 3 years exactly. It does not feel like it. Geez, how time flies. But England will be really, really itching to exact some revenge on Croatia. Game at Wembley. It's going to be a tough one for Croatia. Croatia lost to Belgium 1-0 overnight. But it's not the same Croatia as the Croatia of 3 years ago. Having said that, England, how will they perform in front of their own fans on their home soil? Will they capitulate to the immense pressure, or will they rise to the occasion? Time will tell, I'm sure. And we've got a couple more of the fixtures happening as well. Remembering next Monday is a public holiday, so here's an opportunity to sort of stay up late, wake up in the morning and that kind of stuff early in the morning, and not worrying about going to work the following day. There's some mouth-watering fixtures happening there in those early few days. But that should be pretty good. Really looking forward to that, mate. And now apparently we've got some last bit of news, which was broken on last night's Football Out West show. Tell us about it, mate. Yes, very, very special guest coming on to Football Out West next Sunday night. And speaking of, I suppose, that World Cup 3 years ago in Russia, the 2018 World Cup, she played a key part of that, bringing it to you alongside Fozzie there on SBS, and a fantastic job she did do, not only in that tournament, but over many years at SBS. She's just departed the network, but she will be joining us on Football Out West this Sunday night at 7 o'clock. Tonci, how exciting is that?
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Cannot wait to speak to Lucy Zelic, an icon of the Australian football scene, a royalty, as we said there, and how coincidental that she's coming on our show when it's the Queen's birthday long weekend. So football royalty on a weekend of royalty. That's the Football Out West show on Sunday at 7 o'clock, folks. Make sure to tune into that. That's going to be fantastic. Mate, we've got a lot to get through. I think we might take a little bit of a break. And when we do return, it's all about the juniors and the games that were played over the weekend, something that we don't get a chance to often cover. So we're really looking forward to that. Don't go away, folks. We've got heaps to get through tonight. Here's a little word from something of a very, very worthy cause. Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It is episode 64. Mate, 64 episodes, Steve. Gosh, it just keeps on going, doesn't it?
In a good way, in the best possible way. It does keep on going. Yeah, it does. It's good to be able to, offer something to the community that is otherwise perhaps not there in terms of a voice for this great football community that we have in Geelong.
Yeah. Now, mate, we're going to talk about all the competitions, the junior competitions that happened over the weekend just gone by. We're going to start off with, let's have a look at the under-12. I think if we look at the under-12,
we'll start with the Kangaroos.
Yeah, let's start off with the Kangaroos. We've got a little bit of footage as well from the weekend that was played over the weekend. And that's some action from the Wallabies game yesterday between North Geelong and Barn White. So if we start off with, I'm just looking for the ladder now. There, there's so much to get through. I can't find it for the life of me. Actually, the boys Kangas. Here we go. I've
got the results on my screen at the moment. If you want me to go with the results first.
Yeah, there we go. So that's the under-12 boys ladder. Let's go through that.
Do you want the results first?
Yes, please. Let's go through that.
Okay, so is this the right round? Oh, sorry, I'm not even sure if this is the right round. Sorry about this.
Okay, so
I'm looking at round 2 for some reason. I don't know why that's.
Yeah, round 2. So what's happened, obviously.
That's correct.
Yeah. Yep. Off you go.
All right, that really threw me. All right. So we started the round with Drysdale 2, Geelong 5, Surf Coast 3, North Geelong Warriors Blue 6, Corio Yellow 2, Surfside Waves 2, and the Geelong Rangers boys Pete's side. They had the bye. And do we have any prolific goal scorers from that particular division there?
Well, in the Drysdale game, we had Cooper Bell scored both goals there for Drysdale. Unfortunately, Geelong did not submit their goal scorers. Yeah. In the Surf Coast game against Surf Coast lost to North Geelong Warriors 3-6. Now, that game was only 3-2 at halftime in favour of the Warriors, and they pulled out in the second half. Will Moorish got 2 goals for the Warriors, whilst Benson Flanagan scored 2 for Surf Coast. And Corio, the team that featured in last week's game, that their coach John Diesel Shimunovic was the coach of, they drew with the Surfside Waves 2-2, and his son John Shimunovic Jr. scored one of those 2 goals for Corio. Now, I'm told Geelong Rangers, so they are the team. This is the team that's absolutely destroying everyone. Pete Bradley's team, in fact, he coaches them. When it was the single division 15-team competition, they were well and truly ahead of everyone on the pack. They had a bye, but they managed to take advantage of that by playing a friendly against Ballarat City and ended up defeating Ballarat City 3-1. So, a very good side there, a really, really good side. And they're certainly going to be a side that, I think a lot of teams will have to keep an eye out on. But now moving along to the under-12 Wallabies, games played over the weekend. Take us through the results, Steve.
Yeah, sure thing. So we had Barwon Blue 4, Breakwater Eagles 1, Geelong Rangers Skulls team 7-0 over Colac Otway Rovers, Corio Green 0, Surf Coast Yellow 1, and North Geelong Warriors White 8, Barwon 1. And I believe you may have a couple of goal scorers from that division as well.
Yeah, so in the Geelong Rangers game, we had Xavier Welsh and Oliver Jones both scoring braces. So well done to those 2 lads. Now, North Geelong Warriors, this is the team that has been doing really well. Now, this is that game. So it was they're actually an under-11 team. So they've gone up from the under-11 Kangas division and jumped up to the under-11 Kangas and jumped up to under-12 Wallabies and doing exceptionally well. So they scored an 8-1 victory. Joseph Cholak scored 3 goals, the number 23 to the right of your screen. Yep. And I think we're actually going to see one of young Cholak's goals. So this is there is number 23. Picks his spot and kicks it beautifully. Aldo Sakita, number 15 there, little young fellow, very, very small fellow, probably the smallest fellow on the park. He scored 2 goals. And then we had Andy Gregurovic, Noah Ivasic, and a young fella here, as you see that goal, Tommy Prusak scored a lovely goal. He's got a great name there, T. Prusak. He scored a goal as well. So next,
all smiles on the way home, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. A little Tommy. He's a junior, so a very happy dad, that's for sure. And that was the under-12. And then we can see them. Now, what's going to happen now this next week is we're going to actually find that round 1 of the under-12 competition, so both for Wallabies and Kangas, that is now going to be played this weekend. So we'll find as the catch-up round, I suppose, that's what's going to happen. Yeah. Now, moving along to the girls division, the girls under-12 competition. We've got the girls under-12 competition there, and some of the results that happened there. Mate, have you got the
I've got them right here. So this was round 8 of the girls competition. So it was Geelong Rangers 5-2 over Geelong. Surf Coast 5, Surfside Waves 0, Barwon 5, Barwon Heads 4, and Ballerine, they had the bye there. So some high-scoring games there, Tonci.
Yeah, Rangers doing very, very well, exceptionally well, in fact, up there. They are looking good, and I tell you what, they 5 wins, 1 draw, no losses. And they've got a game in hand as well. Surf Coast doing quite well in that second position as well. But having said that, and we're going to have a look at the fixtures coming up this weekend. Girls under 12, Geelong Rangers taking on the Ballerine Sharks. Barwon hosting Geelong Soccer Club. Surfside Waves hosting Barwon Heads. And Surf Coast will have the bye. So the Rangers have a really good opportunity to really open up that lead at the top of the standings there.
Yeah, definitely. And Tonci, might I add as well, well done to everyone involved, from the volunteers to the girls that played in these games themselves, because the return to play guidelines were only released mid-afternoon on Friday. These games were kicking off from 9 and 10 a.m. on Saturday. So fantastic effort, because people really had to pull together to get these games off the ground so the kids could get out and enjoy their football. So I think hats off to everyone involved for making it happen.
Really good point, mate. Really good point, because we did see in some of the other country regions, they basically were left with not enough time to organise themselves, and I think Bendigo was one of those regions. And credit to absolutely everyone in Geelong. Like, as soon as we found out that the lockdown had been lifted here in Geelong, clubs were going nuts over social media, organising themselves, organising training sessions for the Friday. Going ahead with the game. So credit to all the Geelong clubs, all those junior teams, to the parents, to the coaches, to the team managers, the committee members, the players themselves. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really proud moment, I think, for Geelong football, and well done to them all. Okay, let's move along now to the boys under 13 competition. Steve.
Sure thing. So this was also round 8 taking place yesterday morning, and we saw Barwon White 2, Surfside Waves 1, Barwon Blue 4, Geelong Rangers 2, Bell Park 3, Drysdale 4, bit of a thriller there, North Geelong Warriors 2, Barwon Heads 1, and Surf Coast started out with the bye.
Yeah, well, so round 7 this weekend. It kicks off, in fact, on Thursday night, I believe, actually. Barwon Blue will be taking on Barwon White. That's at Grovedale Reserve. Then we've got Barwon Heads taking on Bell Park. This is on Sunday at Barwon Heads. Surf Coast hosting Geelong Rangers also on Sunday. And Surfside Waves at home to the North Geelong Warriors at Shell Road Reserve on Sunday. So some good games there. But yeah, Thursday night football under lights down at Grovedale Reserve. Barwon have been doing that a few times this year, so good on them. They're doing something a little bit different and kicking the extra long weekend, I guess. So, and maybe that's a good idea. They're having the games on Thursday, and that way people who have already planned to have a long weekend getaway can still do so.
Great idea. Good point.
Absolutely. Phenomenal.
Yeah, really good point.
Okay, mate. We had the boys, and now it's the girls' turn. The girls under 13 competition.
Yeah, that's right. So the Geelong girls under 13s competition, those results, again, also Saturday morning. So again, well done to everyone involved here. Drysdale 3, Lara United 0, Bell Park 1, Surf Coast 0. And the other result, Surfside Waves 0, North Geelong Warriors 9. And that is the round 8 results for the under 13s girls.
Yeah, they're unstoppable, the Warriors, aren't they? A 9-0 victory there over the Waves.
Yep.
Now,
you could say that's a healthy goal difference, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. 64.
62.
4 and 2 against. Now, we had Annika Vanderson scored a hat-trick, as did Anastasia Šimić. She scored a hat-trick as well. And the round 7 fixtures for the girls under 13, and that will be, all those games will be played on Saturday. Bell Park hosting Lara United. North Geelong Warriors at home to Surf Coast, and Surfside Waves taking on Drysdale Soccer Club. That's the girls under 13 competition. We're whizzing through these, aren't we?
This is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
The boys under 14s next.
Boys under 14, yeah. Let's go through the boys under 14 competition.
So just the 2 games took place in this division on the weekend, and it saw Lara United 3, Surfside Waves 0. And Barwon 3, Geelong Rangers 2, and Leopold had the bye.
Now, this weekend, we've got 2 games, obviously. It's only and that is the smallest division, in fact, it must be said.
Yeah.
I think they actually had 6 teams, but Geelong Soccer Club, coached by, I think, Romeo Pudley, a former senior player, they were just absolutely way too strong for that division. So they moved up to under 15s.
Yeah,
and we'll look at the under 15 boys in a second. But the under 14 competition there, FC Leopold at home to Lara United on Sunday. Surfside Waves then taking on Barwon Soccer Club also on Sunday, and Geelong Rangers, who are sitting up the top, but they have played 1 game more than Lara United. They have got the bye now. Apparently, I'm told that Geelong Rangers team has got something like 17, 18 players or thereabouts. So they've got a pretty large squad. And if they had a few more players, they probably would have been able to have fielded two teams in that boys under 14 competition. But look, nonetheless, it's going to be a close division, that one. Nonetheless, the top four teams could all do quite well. So that's the boys under 14. Moving on to the boys under 15.
That's right, and we had 3 games take place in this division, and it saw Drysdale 0, Lara United 7, Barwon 2, Bell Park 3, and a big derby at Stead Park saw Geelong Lions 2 defeating Geelong 1.
Yeah, now that Geelong Lions, that I'm told that is the team that has come up from the under 14 competition, and hence they've only played 1 game in this division, so they haven't really had a chance to. And I think that because that ladder actually doesn't take into account that second win, so they're now on 6 points from 2 games. Already have moved into the 5th spot. But yeah, look, some of the highlights from that round of matches. For Lara United, we had Mason Lloyd score 3 goals. I hope I'm going to get this right. Isombero Mayondo, 2 goals, and Max Lambert also scored 2 goals for Lara in their big 7-0 win over Drysdale. And as we mentioned, the Geelong Lions, definitely a team to watch out for. They are a very, very good side. And they host Bell Park this weekend. So they'll have an opportunity now to kind of jump over Bell Park and into the top 4 that game on Sunday at Stead Park. Drysdale hosting the other Geelong team Sunday morning down at the Drysdale Sporting Precinct. And then finally, we've got the top of the table clash at Banyul Warrior Reserve in Torquay on Sunday afternoon when Surf Coast hosts Lara United with Barwon Soccer Club having the bye. Steve, we're nearly there. Let's look at the girls under 15 competition now.
Yeah, a big league, this one. And the first fixture listed here, I don't have the result for, which was Barwon Heads and FC Leopold. So unless you've got that one yourself, apologies.
No, mate, I don't have that actually, unfortunately.
If there's any parents there from either Barwon Heads or Leopold in the girls under 15s, pop that score in the comments. We'd love to read it out for you if we could. Yeah. Moving along then, Geelong Rangers 2, Surf Coast 8, Drysdale 0, Bell Park 1, Barwon 0, Golden Plains 4, and North Geelong Warriors, they had the bye, and that is the scores from the girls under 15s from the weekend.
Now, Surf Coast defeated Geelong Rangers, as you mentioned, 8-2. Mia McCouch Cripps, she scored 6 of those 8 goals for Surf Coast. The young lass, get this, Steve, the young lass in 6 games has scored 22 goals. 22 goals in that division. So she's definitely a star to keep an eye out. And she's helped her team to 5 wins, 1 draw, no losses. And look at that, 46 goals for, 5 goals against, positive goal difference of 41. So Surf Coast doing really well there at the top of the competition standings. But so too are Bell Park and Golden Plains, and North Geelong not too far behind, making up the top 4. Let's have a look at the fixtures for this week's games. Round 7 in the girls under 15 competition. Have you got them there handy in front of you, Steve?
I'll just go back. I've actually jumped ahead one slide. We'll go back one. So we'll get those fixtures. So this will be the round 7 games that will take place this Saturday at 10 a.m. FC Leopold versus Geelong Rangers at Estuary Reserve. Surf Coast versus Golden Plains, 11 a.m. at Banyul Warrior Reserve. Bell Park versus Barwon Heads. That's at 11 a.m. at Bell Park Sports Club. And Barwon will host North Geelong Warriors at Grovedale Reserve at 11:30 a.m. And Drysdale Soccer Club, well, they can have a long weekend bye.
Yeah, Surf Coast taking on Golden Plains. That's going to be an absolute beauty in that division. The girls under 15 competition, so 10 teams in that division. Great to see. And that's a nice, healthy division. 10 teams when you've got that in that division. That's good to see. And hopefully that means in years to come, the other divisions will start to fill out as well. Now, last but certainly not least, the boys under 16 competition. And I'll tell you what, Steve, when you watch some of these under 16 players play, man, I don't know what they feed the kids these days. They look like fully grown adult men. I tell you what, they're some of those boys are massive. I tell you what, but
that's right. We'll be hoping they're not waiting for us in the parking lot. They might take us down, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, the boys under 16 competition. So we had round 6 on the weekend, or round 8, I should say. Round 8 on the weekend. It is a bit confusing. Round 7 coming up this weekend, which is the catch-up round. But let's go through the round 8 results, mate.
All right, so the first game taking place yesterday was at Biak Hall and Recreation Reserve, and it was Colac Otway Rovers 3, Bell Park 7. The other matches...
Unfortunately, no scorers provided from either team. So we really implore all of the clubs out there, make sure by Monday morning you've already put the scorers up there. You've put the results up there because I know with the Geelong Advertiser getting their results, I think they need to have those results in by 11 o'clock of a Monday morning. And we can't give some of these kids Bell Park scored 7. There might have been a hat-trick there. There might have been a double or what not. We can't give these kids any credit because we don't know. We haven't been provided with any of those details. But sorry, mate, I'm interrupting you.
No, it's a good call, mate. It's a good call. It's an important call as well. The rest of those games in this division, which is the boys under 16, Breakwater Eagles 6, Corio 1, Surfside Waves 2, Geelong Rangers 5, Barwon Blue 1, Barwon Heads 1. And Bowen White had the bye on the weekend. So
now Breakwater Eagles defeated Corio 6-1. Theo Conta Georges scored 3. Jack Wilson scored 2. Rangers defeated Surfside Waves 5-2. And that was after the halftime result. Scoreline was 1-1. So Rangers really tore shreds off their opposition in the second half. Unfortunately, no scorers weren't provided on that occasion. Okay, looking ahead to this weekend's round of matches in the under-16 boys competition. Bell Park are hosting Barwon Blue. Bell Park versus Barwon Blue. That's going to be on Sunday afternoon at the Bell Park Sports Club. Then we've got Barwon Heads hosting Breakwater Eagles. Corio Soccer Club hosting Barwon White, the top team. So that's going to be a tough game for Corio there at Hume Reserve. And finally, last but not least, Surfside Waves are at home to Colac Otway Rovers with the Geelong Rangers under-16 boys team having a bye this weekend. And that brings us to the end of our roundup in the local competition, Steve. Great to be able to sort of, we don't get that opportunity often to just cast our eye on some of the youngsters that are playing and doing well and scoring a lot of goals, or the teams that are, got a great goal difference or whatever the case may be. So good on to all those youngsters out there doing so well. And most importantly, having fun.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. You couldn't have said it better. So well done to the kids involved and everyone involved, as we said earlier, making it happen with the difficult time frame with the return to play guidelines. And we could have just taken the easy option and just cancelled it, but no, that wasn't the case. People really wanted the kids to have the chance to play, and they did, and then they're going to get the chance to play again this weekend. So fantastic stuff leading in, and it's not long till they get to have school holidays. So how happy are these kids at the moment?
Absolutely. And without a shadow of a doubt, it's great to see. Don't go away, folks. Stay with us. When we return, we've got our first special guest for tonight's show. The Country Leagues Football Association Vice President, Neville Keen, will be joining us. You're tuning in to the Geelong Region Soccer Show, episode 64. Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It is episode 64. And Steve, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome to the show our guest for tonight. He is the Vice President of the Country Leagues Football Association, and absolute pleasure having him join us on the show. Neville Keen. Neville, welcome to the show, and it's great to have you on the Geelong Region Soccer Show.
Thanks, Tonci. Stephen, we haven't met before, but
it's my pleasure, Neville.
Yeah.
Fantastic to meet you, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, boys.
Now, Neville, on the weekend, we had the meeting of the Country Leagues Football Association that brought the decision. I guess, really, there was it was just a formality. There was no opportunity that the competition was going to go ahead. The event was going to go ahead on the Queen's birthday long weekend. Tell us about the meeting and obviously the decision and how it was arrived at.
Good question. The organising committee, which is made up of Lisa, Brooks, and I'm going to forget some people, but I'm sorry about that. Oh, you've put it up there on the
there
screen.
We go.
Well
there's
done. That's our actual release that we put out to everyone involved. We met on Saturday morning, and bearing in mind that we had a couple of options up our sleeve prior to, because as soon as the announcement was made by the government, we got our regions together and worked on a plan B, I guess, and that was a couple of weekends available to us at the end of majority of folks' seasons, regional seasons. So we had the AFL weekend as an option, and also the following weekend first weekend in October before the kids go back to school. So bearing in mind that we had a number of issues to deal with as well with each weekend, not all regions were agreeable to one particular weekend or the other. So we've combined all of the information that we tallied up from them, looking at availability of grounds. Importantly, the volunteer brigade that the host clubs would need to have as well, all right? And also being the AFL weekend, that put a bit of a spanner in works to a small degree, but we decided collectively on the October weekend. So that's the information that we've put out there. It seemed to be the best option, and bearing in mind that we've got some time between now and then to work out some of the end dates for some of the associations, because some had their weekends set aside for other activities, but hopefully we can get to full squads again in October.
Yep. Now, Neville, it sounds like a very well-measured decision that everyone's put their heads together to come up with there, and I'm sure it will turn out to be much for the better. But how are the various regions doing in Victoria during these turbulent times?
Oh, turbulence, right? Uncertainty is rife, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unfortunately. The majority of regions, I think, maybe slightly down on numbers, and that was to be expected, I guess. But I think you'll find that pre this last lockdown, regions were actually, the numbers were improving. All right. So I know up here in Ballarat, that was certainly the case. So, and I believe that's also transpiring around the rest of the regions as well. What is of concern, though, is that number of referees re-signing up. Like that's, I think, across the board, even in the metro, that referees just didn't re-sign up. And that could be for a myriad of different reasons, of course, but that is an issue for us as well.
Neville, we saw that we were mentioning, and Steve's an old Bendigo boy, so he brought it to our attention the other day, that it was such a last minute, and I guess Football Victoria's hands were tied on this occasion, getting getting all the directives from the state government, but they decided, look, it was just not enough time to get themselves organised and get their volunteers, and they basically pulled the plug on the competition this week. Have we had any other reports from any of the other regions that are sort of suffering a similar fate? And does it once again come back down to the fact of volunteers, just the sheer logistics of getting these volunteers mobilised?
Most regions are, and their member clubs, pardon me, fairly well situated, all right, but that wasn't the part of, that was only part of the reason, but our distancing, like we're going to, down in Geelong in October, we're going to probably have 1,400 kids, all right? Plus you've got the families and all that to come along as well. So there's a lot of folks would have got there, and that was our biggest concern for this weekend coming. But anyway, in regards to regional activities, because we've now gone back to the QR codes, the sign-ins, all them sorts of things, I think that may put a strain on some clubs, all right, but nothing is insurmountable. And in the country, we just seem to get on and get things done, if that makes any sense to you. And you guys are the same down in Geelong. You just get on and make it happen.
Yeah, so, I think there's a lot of happy, smiley faces on the weekends, and we're not just talking about the kids, getting out and about, but just parents, being able to get out. We had a lovely day yesterday. It was a beautiful winter's day, a lot of sunshine, so everyone was very happy. But look, some of the positives around our region, I guess, if we're looking at places like Ballarat in particular, is we've seen some of the facilities there getting a bit of upgrades. I think is it Victoria Park or something down there at Ballarat? Vic Park, was it?
Yeah, Vic Park's having matches up there. Yeah. There's also the Wendouree West area that's been redeveloped as well.
I saw those pictures last week. It looks fantastic.
Oh, yeah, no.
Very jealous of that stuff here in Geelong.
Yeah, we are really jealous now. You've got a wonderful regional facility there at Moorshead Park. And we had Councillor Eddie Contel on our show 2 weeks ago, who's visited up there quite a few times and said, it's providing inspiration for something similar down here in Geelong. But in your opinion, are the country facilities getting their fair share of funding from the various tiers of government, maybe compared to some of the other sports or what you're not? Or are we still sort of like that poor brother, poor cousin that's not getting proportionately the right amount? And what do we need to do as regional associations, regional zones? Can we do things a little bit better?
Well, I think we can, but you've got to look at Bendigo. I've got a nice facility out at Epsom, which can cater for a lot of games out there, all right? Ballarat's getting upgrades on majority of its grounds as well, so that's including lighting. Gippsland, that area down there, some of the clubs down there have been getting funding through council, etc., to build their facilities as well, bringing them up to a decent standard. Shepparton have got a new facility up there next to Rumballara Park there. Most of the country regions do reasonably well, in my opinion, all right? So because in part we've got the green space, metropolitan Melbourne's
that's a good point
taken away, so because they just don't have the space. But country is progressing, all right. And also for the girls' game too. That's interesting too. The girls' game's improving, and the facilities are getting done for the girls as well, which is important.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's a good point as well, because we do mention that the pitches themselves is the infrastructure, but it's also the dressing rooms and things like that are barriers to stopping girls from playing and taking up the sport. So that's just equally as important, right?
For sure. Yeah. No, it is. It has been a male-dominated sport in the country, like Aussie rules, for a long, long time. And to get girls-only facilities built is a big, big bonus, I reckon. So
fantastic.
It's only going to be good for our sport moving forward.
Well, absolutely. And it's great to see that it's not all doom and gloom. On the contrary, there's some really positive things happening. And I guess one of the positives of the country championships being in October is the weather as well. The weather's going to be a lot nicer as well. So we look forward to that.
That's right.
Neville, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll get you on the show again later on in the year.
Good on you. Thanks, fellas. Yeah, keep up the good work, all right?
Good on you. We'll do.
You too, mate.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Neville.
Neville Keen, the Vice President of the Country Leagues Football Association. And actually, that's great to hear about the facilities as statewide. I mean, we didn't even touch on some of the associations that are doing really well, like the Southwestern Victorian Football. I think I'm going to get that right. The Warrnambool League. They've just gone exploded, haven't they? As far as the number of clubs are played. But we can always do better, I always say. But good to see there's some really, really good things happening. Mate, we're going to take a little bit of a break once again. And I think, what have we got on the other side of the break?
We've got some representative squad announcements for this year's rep teams for the local region. We'll be going through each and every one of those after this break.
Awesome. Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It's great to have you back. It is episode 64. And Steve, we're going to now go on and we're going to talk about the rep squads. Let's start off with the girls.
All right. So we've got the girls squads, okay, here on your screen now for the under 11s. And these are coached by Catch Sattler and Grace Hudson. The goalkeeper is Maya Vidro. The outfield players Heidi Armstrong, Rosie Maul, Meg Grutveld, Aya Nikolovsky, Evie Stosic, Ruby Schofield, possibly Dave's daughter, not too sure, but maybe a Rangers player there. Safina Fiala, Violet Smith, Asha Barr, Alid Sheridan, Summer Wright, Valentina Peruya, and Ivanka Shishak.
So I think that's Kat Sattler. Actually, it must be a spelling mistake.
Oh, that
there
would make more sense.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Sorry about that, Kath. That is unforgivable.
And that's the youngest one of our girls. Moving along then to our next one, which is the under 12 rep team. And that's coached by Britt Elson and Leonie Smith. And Leonie, big shout out to Leonie. She is one of our members of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. And thank you. She's actually our newest member. So very, very much thank you to Leonie. Now, the under 12 girls, we've got Liv Lawrence, Lucy Barr, Hayen Brandwick, I'd say that is from Martin Brandwick's daughter from up at Geelong Rangers. Anastasia Shimich, who we saw scored a wonderful 3-goal haul over the weekend. Hannah Bigmore, Beatrice Hudson, Matilda Davenport, Tess Verhoeven, Lavina Wader, Sienna Gill, Audrey Bryan, Lucy Shimich, who actually happens to be Anastasia Shimich's twin, Ruby Swinton, and Grace Dawson. On to the under 14 girls.
Yeah, so the under 14 girls coached by Ryan Horrocks and Rachel Zara. In goal is Pepper Ruiz, and the outfield players Alana Petman, Cameron Brown, Edie Abierti, Evie Kosic, Aisha Molly, Meg Morasi, Mia McCoach Cripps, Tiana Michalik, Lena Skoko, Claire Edmonds-Wilson, Zoe Stosic, Annabelle Fisher, Joy Im, Olivia Tilley, and May Vern. Well done to everyone who made the team there.
Now, some very, very famous names there of some girls following in their dad's footsteps. Alana Petman, that's the Aaron Petman's daughter, Aaron, former president of Lara United. Evie Chosic, whose dad, Robbie Chosic, was well known to North Geelong Warriors fans. He was part of the very successful Warriors team back in the 90s that played in the Victorian Premier League. But number 10 there, Lena Skorkor, is in fact the daughter of former Socceroo great Josip Skorkor. So it's not just the boys in the family that are very, very talented, with Lena's brothers Noah and Luca doing so well at North Geelong Warriors, but the young lady herself is doing exceptionally well, and she is in the Geelong under 14 girls team. So certainly a name to look out for. On to the girls under 16 team, Steve.
Yep, and these girls are coached by Vlado Delgic and Ashley Stevenuta. In goal, Anna Zanic, and the outfield players Julia Akmacic, Bailey Gate, Georgina Borshman, Grace Speha, Chanel Simovic, Dakota Pearson, Miller Parkin, Maeve McKenna, Jessica Robe, Millie Chapman, Sienna Wretch, Rosie Skerritt, Maya Peha, Amanda Zazkic, and Tara Shaw.
Now, the coach there, Vlado Jakic, would kill me if we said his name incorrectly. But these names have been provided to us by tournament organisers. So there's always going to be a spelling mistake here or there. But a lot of these players, very, very good players who are already playing senior football on many occasions.
Yeah, there's a few surnames I recognise from the Galaxy lineups there.
Yeah, there's a couple from the Galaxy, quite a few from North Geelong, and then we've also got quite a few there from Geelong Rangers. Millie Chapman, number 11. It's her brother Angus Chapman's birthday today, so a big happy birthday to Angus all the way over in the UK. And we've got some rather well-known names there of players. And that'll be a very talented team, a very, very talented team, the Geelong Girls under-16 team. Let's move our attention now to the boys, and we'll start off with the boys under-11 South team.
There we go, and they're coached by James Ramage and Rocker Ramage. So the goalkeeper there is Flynn Scargill, and the outfield players Teal Lamperd, Jack Travis, Cruz Hercus, and son of a pretty famous player from Bendigo who now resides in Ocean Grove there. So shout out to Jimmy. Shani Cat, Elliot Gill, Lenny Fulford, Owen Baker, Owen Gibbons, Cooper Bell, Remy Munthi, Ayan Patel, Henry Tatlock, and Phoenix Terry.
Mouthful, some of those names, I tell you what.
Who'd want to be a school teacher these days reading out the role?
No.
Very challenging.
Yeah, some very, very strange names, but I've got a strange name, so there's nothing wrong with that, yeah. James Ramage and Rocker Ramage, father and son.
There's no such thing as a strange name. It's just a name that you haven't got familiar with yet.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Okay. Geelong under-11 Northern Hub team. We've got Jacob Majeric, Aldo Sakita, Xavier McDermott, Sam Pino, Orlando Chiola, Noah Ivasic, Gabriel Miletic, Julian Ryan, William Morris, Masa Arnold, Liam Jones, Hunter Peters, Alexander Sabevsky, and Nate Bradley. They are coached by Robbie Nogler, and the assistant coach there is Adam Nogler. We've got quite a few players there from that North Geelong under-12 Wallabies team. Good to see there's about 5 players from that team. So very, very strong side that will be. It's just a matter of those players all gelling, because there's some very good individual players in that team. If they can gel, they'll be a very, very good team. And I'm told that Coach Robbie Nogler has been very impressed with the calibre of players, and it's just a case of getting them to gel together. On to the boys under-12 team now.
Yeah, so in goal, Jackson Verbeek, and the outfield players Charlie Khalil, Cody Hodge, Spencer Wood, Andrew Petit, Michael Sheridan, Lockie Beattie, Taj Walker, Spencer Tricky, Joshua Raleigh, Patrick Buckley, Sebastian Alice, Aaron Pittout, and Charlie Basley Jovanovski, the coaches there, Ben Conn and Lockie Gall.
There you go. So that's the under-12 boys team. Onto the boys under-13 team. Steve, did you want to go through that under-13 boys team?
Why not? In goal, Patrick Allen, and the outfield players Dan Shaw, Harry Herr, Christian Volpe, Blut Hay, Daniel Trapatosa, sorry about that, Henry North, Jarvis Pedersen, Sam Nichols, Archie Fulford, Nathan Osmond, Eden Benton, Jacob Hogger, Archie Miller, Charles Edmonds Wilson, and Oscar Schutkler. Coaches there, Jono Wilson and Ando Munth.
Ando Munte. How would you pronounce that? That's another tough one there. That's right.
If there's an accent on the E, it would make it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so we're moving along now to the under-14 boys, coached by Dean Graham and assisted there by Jack Waugh. And we've got Jacob Meehan, Sean McKinney, Billy Biskin, Tom Preedy, Harrison Dodds, Andrew Lamson, Jordan Wader, Jackson Whelan, Taryn Harvey, Finn Powell, Taj Beckworth, Zach Evans, Elias Betts, and Oliver Sute. Quickly whizzing through the next 2 teams. We've only got 2 teams left, so bear with us, folks. We're not going to be too long. The Geelong under-15 boys.
In goal, Jet Grisbeck. So there's a familiar surname there. William Gorman, Declan Stojanowski, Harry Stanley, Ika Hardman, Seb Scargill, Ethan Witchler, Jack Sadler, Jack Wilson, Jacob Owen, Oliver Hudson, Alman Ardich, Harris G, Josh Royal, Ben Groves, and Geordie Hill there. And those under-15 boys are coached by Brian Duncan and Tim Edwards.
We've got 2 teams left, the under-16 boys and the under-17 boys. And on the screen there, we've got the under-16 boys, and they are coached by Adrian Bate, who is now a senior assistant coach at North Geelong Warriors. The boys there, Tyler Reid is the goalkeeper. Will Mitchell, Luke Roebuck Stewart, Lachlan McLean, Joyal Saju, Harry McCarthy, Harrison Smith, Joshua Loricella, Joshua Ruggieri, Theo Contageorgis, who got amongst the goals this weekend just gone by, Brendan Jennings, Jack Thompson, Hudson Ellis, Jack Holton, Dev Nair, and last but not least, Henry Meaney. Henry Meaney, I guess. And the last team, the Geelong under-17 boys, coached by Lockie Heron. And Steve, those players.
Yep, last but not least, under-17 boys. In goal, Liam O'Leary, and the outfield players, Thomas Gillam, June Star Hay, Alessi Ciola, Joe Lawley, Michael Neves, Armin Ormid, Joshua Graham, Jacob Bertucci, Harry Whitaker, Thomas Weir, Aaron Bridges, Joshua Brooks, Here Trivedy, and Corbin Bailey. And that is the squad. They're coached by Lockie Heron, and well done to everyone who's made that one as well.
Yeah, and there we go. That's the entire roster of players that are going to be taking part this year in the country championships. Now on October 1 through to October 3, mate. Well, we got through a fair bit tonight, a lot. It's been a good show. We haven't had, the usual sort of array of superstar, I guess, guests and topics, whatever. But we've had, a real return to grassroots, a real opportunity to look at the juniors, and they'll be in action once again this weekend. Hopefully, we'll have some good news regarding this lockdown. That's right. Affecting all of us and the restrictions. So it's not just the lockdown that's affecting us, it's the restrictions as well that seniors aren't able to play. They can train, but they can't play. Mate, we're going to have hopefully a good week, and thank you for being a part of it. It's time for both of us to have a late dinner, I think.
I think it is. So thanks again for having us, Tonci, and thanks to everyone in the comments getting involved. Brenton, Santino, Vladimir, Maxi, and the list goes on and on. So thank you very much for getting involved in the show. And it was good to see last night as well. We were kitted out by Macron tonight. I'm kitted out by Joel. So shout out to Joel. We hope you enjoyed the show. And hopefully, as you say, Tonci, some good news to come later in the week for us and for football.
Absolutely. Good on you. Big week happening, obviously, with the Euro Championships. But in the meantime, do show your support and become a member of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. We do need your support. We want this show to keep on going, to be able to cover topics such as the juniors, the seniors, women's competition, and anything else as well. So we do need your support. We do need you to sign on and become a member. There's the address at the bottom of the screen. Visit the following website, www.patreon.com/Geelong Region Soccer Show. And one of the benefits of being a member of the Geelong Region Soccer Show is that you do receive daily news, original daily news bulletins, daily news articles about the football scene here in Geelong. On behalf of Steve Curtin and myself, Tonci Prusak, it's been an absolute pleasure bringing you tonight's show. Good night.